Hello, Bean. Bean, will you do the intro? Will you say welcome to the Unhinged Library?
We get excited.
We do get excited, because we're all excited to see you guys.
Hello!
Even though I'm not really seeing you, but like, hi!
Hi, I wave, but I need tea.
Yeah, Hallie's in pain, so I'm going to be the color today. I will be the energy.
I have peppermint tea. Peppermint tea fixes all ailments.
Yes. So this week, alright, so here's this like really funny story, but it's really not a funny story, but we're all going to laugh at it now. So picture yourself being two girls with ADHD and like having a bunch of books to read before the end of the year. And then you're like, I want to make a podcast. So then you start filming every week. And every single week you film. But then you start losing track of the books that you did film and then you didn't film. And then sometimes you just go on tangents for so long that the episode's not good and you got to re-record it. So then you re-record it, but then you re-recorded an episode that was actually good. And then the episode that you were supposed to re-record, you didn't.
Yeah.
Welcome to our lives.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah, so if you are watching this right now, our first video of the year was actually supposed to be this video. Yeah. Not that we didn't want to put out that 2025 video. That was kind of like a spur of the moment video. But I was actually going to edit that, and I'm texting Hallie while she's at work, and I'm like, I'm freaking out right now. She's like, why? Because I can't find the file in my folder on my computer for
this. You
this.
had me panicked that like something actually was happening, and I'm like, do you need help? Do you need emotional support? What can I do to help care for my friend? And you're just like, this video. I'm like, okay, kind of relief, but also I get it.
I almost didn't want to text you either because I was like, I don't want to make her panic at work because there's nothing you can do at work.
Anytime any of my friends or family text me at work and they're like, oh my god, something's going on, I'm like, do you need immediate help or could this have waited?
Because if I'm going to be honest, I am a queen of procrastination and I edit a lot the day of if it's posting. Like I'll edit in the morning or the night before. So like, yeah, I'm like editing and I'm just tweaking out. I'm like, in my folder for Vows Ruins, which this series is gonna be covering in today's episode, I have the next book, Fate and Furies, which, bonus, you guys are gonna get 2 episodes today if you're listening to this, because I'm gonna post both of them so we can kind of stay on our publishing schedule, because we did come up with a rough outline of a publishing schedule. I mean, it kind of changes.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, we mood read, so it really just depends on like what we want.
And you also figure too, like we only post every other week. Maybe eventually if we get more of a following, we'll post more weekly and stuff like that. But we have more books than what we're posting. So we're also kind of trying to be a little strategic in our posting schedules right now.
You guys are just our excuse to hang out once a week and talk about the books we're reading and buddy read every so often.
Yes, we do appreciate you guys for your services for that. So thank you.
Otherwise, my boyfriend would probably be like, you need to go outside more. That's his bitch right now, is that I don't spend enough time outside. And I'm like, sir, it is 20 degrees out. You are the only human I know who wants to go stand in a fucking creek at 20 degrees. I love you, babe. If you ever watch this, I did have fun fishing. I only had fun because I caught 2 fish. If I would have caught nothing and you would have caught everything and I would have just been out there in the cold, I'd probably be mad at you.
That's a true life story of every woman ever fishing.
Yeah.
I swear. Because every time I used to go fishing as a kid growing up, because my grandparents lived out in like the country and there was nothing to do besides go down the dirt road and fish, I get so mad when my brother and my cousin would always be catching fish. And they used to tight line and all that stuff. And I'm younger, so they didn't want to teach me. But eventually I made them teach me. And then for the longest time I wouldn't like cast my line out. So my grandpa would do it. But then my brother and my cousin wouldn't do it. So they forced me to do it. Fishing makes me a little sad, though. I know you'll tell me there's no nerves in their mouths, but it does make me a little sad to be ripping lips all.
Dude, these motherfuckers got teeth.
The salmon?
The steelhead.
Oh, steelhead? That's what
they
you guys
got
offer?
fucking teeth.
I've never been out for, like, steelhead or anything like that.
They got teeth. They surround me constantly. I have had multiple moments where I'm just crossing the creek right along behind Jeff, just do, and I step into the creek, and there's 4 fucking fish just around me, and I'm like, what are you doing? How do I move? What do I do to not disturb the fish I cannot catch now, because they know I'm here?
Like, hey.
I like going out. I like being outside. I like that I listen to my little audiobooks while we go fishing now. Discovered that one for salmon season because, like, you're out at ungodly hours and sometimes I'm cranky and I just want to listen to my book.
It makes us happy.
It does. It makes it easier. But then at the same time, I'm just like, it's like Jeff gets so much dopamine doing it, which I like. I love that he gets happy to do it. But it's like it is
cold.
20 degrees.
That is cold.
You want to go stand in a creek at 20. And I'm not saying at the bank, guys. I mean, he is
in the water.
Knee deep in a creek. And that's his knee, not my knee.
It gives me not really the same vibes, but in the sense of being cold. Like, there's a game this weekend, and I'm like, do I really want to go stand out in 20-degree weather?
No. You're gonna get sick. Especially since you're not, like, able to really move around and, like, get your circulatory system.
Yeah, I mean, here's my plan. I'm not drinking to get drunk. I'm drinking to stay warm this time.
That's not gonna keep you warm.
Well, I'm gonna wear a bunch of, like, warm clothes and, like, I have snow pants and all that kind of stuff. Like, I do have gear to wear, but I thought about that today when Chelsea texted me. I was like, do I want to freeze? Also, in case you didn't know, I believe you guys should. We're from Buffalo, so, like, it's cold.
It is cold.
I know, like, you all think we're just supposed to be used to it because we're from Buffalo. Do we look like girls who like to be out in the cold? No, we like to watch it on the TV with some fire crackly music behind it and with a little bookie and our putty tats, and that's our vibe.
And occasionally a Hildas.
Occasionally a Hildas. Yep. Once in a while, I did have a couple Max photos last year, my mom's dog, but I don't read too much out there.
Yeah. Jeff also complained this week. He's like, you don't tell me stories. I'm like, what? He's like, you read all these books and you don't tell me stories. I'm like, I literally read out loud to you. And you just were, like, grumpy about it. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. You just compare everything to Lord of the Rings. Like,
yeah.
What do you want?
What do you want me to do?
You're gonna ruin my fun.
Hey, Will. Honestly, I feel like Wayne's getting a little bit better at feeding my book addiction in the sense that I'll just be home with my books and whatnot. But I am sticking to my 2-book rule a month so far. I've been doing good. I've been seeing books. I really, really, really want this box set of these books.
Mm-hmm.
So bad. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe if I have enough money in my little book jar thingy. Well, it's not till the end of the year, so I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet.
You can pull out money from the book jar.
But it doesn't exist yet.
So get reading.
I'm not out here putting as much money as you in as a book. So what we're talking about, in case you guys haven't seen it on the internet, is where, like, you read a book and then you put $1. Some people are putting $5. Some people are putting $20. Whatever you decide.
I am putting 10.
Every book that you read, $1 into the jar, and then at the end of the year, you might, let's say you read 100 books, you put $1 in, you have $100 that you can go spend on books or whatever you kind of want to spend it on. Or if you want to spend it throughout the year, you can too. I don't know. I thought about how I'm going to do it, so what I did is I bought, like, a mailbox for Valentine's Day cards from the dollar store, and I'm painting it all kind of fancy, so you can follow my Instagram to see that. But I think I'm going to do it based on my rating. So if it's a 5-star rating, I'm going to put $5 in. If I give it 4 stars, I'm going to put $4 in. Or 3.
I am paying myself $10 a book. I already have $50.
But if not, I'm doing 5. You already read that many books?
Yes.
Go you, girl.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm slacking. I'm only on my 2nd book.
Well, it's because I can listen to the audiobooks all day at work, and then, like, I'll come home and do, like, my little steps, or, like, we'll go fishing, and I'll have it in my ear, or whatever. And then, like, for, like, physical reads, I think I only, like, physically read 3 this year. 2 or 3 this year. And they're also FELAC books, because, like, I didn't realize it was a 6-book series, and then there's a spin-off series off of it. So I'm like, do I want to invest this much time into this, or do I want to switch? Because there's a few fantasies that I've been seeing, like, popping up, and I'm like, I want to read that, because, like, they're not too big yet, but I want to know about them. I saw fan art, and I'm like, you know what? I can get down with this.
Nice. Yeah, I've only done the book that we're gonna record and cover after this episode that won't be posted for a little while. and our book club books.
Oh yeah,
which I'm kind of struggling through.
Our book club books this month, we are rereading for us Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, because obviously Onyx Storm comes out later this month, so everybody's rereading. I wasn't gonna reread, and then like I read a book so bad that I DNF'd it, like literally at halfway. I'm like, this sucks. I'm at halfway through this book and I am not invested at all. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just hit a couple key points in like Iron Flame, so like I know what I'm talking about at book club.
Yeah, honestly. So I'm not gonna go like too far into.
If you ever want us to cover those, we're gonna make you pay for that episode.
That's a lot of need and desires for
that episode will be behind a paywall. You know what we should do if we do a paywall episode for that? We'll bring Jeff on for that one, and Jeff can just sit in the middle and listen and give us his opinions.
Yes. It's not one of my favorite series to read. It is not my least favorite series out there to read, but it is not my favorite series to read. So I feel like that, and kind of going into it and knowing it's not one of my favorite things to read right now, is kind of making me take longer to read it. But in case you didn't know, I did create the book club. Therefore, I am in charge of a lot of the admin stuff.
I help sometimes.
Yeah, she does help. So what I do for my book club is I make like a Google Forms review every month. So we like kind of put on there like what was our star rating, if we did spice, what was our spice rating, what character did we like the most, least like, plot things and things like that. So I have to read the books to be able to make the forum, and I remember enough of Fourth Wing, but Iron Flame, there's a lot of content that happens inside of that book, and I definitely, rereading it right now, I definitely don't remember as much as I was hoping I was.
Not all of it was necessary.
But needless to say, trying to get all that stuff documented so I can do our questionnaire for our book club that's coming out in a couple weeks, so that way we can read Onyx Storm to cover it.
Yup.
So, we'll see. Hopefully, after that, I don't really know what I'm going to read next. I have some on my shelf.
Iron and Embers.
Well, I'm going to read that, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, so, okay, I guess I'm going to, like, pat my little self on the back. Probably the thing I'm most happy about this year, and it might stay, like, probably one of my top book accomplishments. It's very, like, I am officially one of the promotion team members on the street team for Iron and Embers, so that is actually the next spin-off series that is coming out about this book. So thank you, Helen, and your team for picking me. I am so very honored. I literally bought the book Saturday on Amazon, like I pre-ordered it, and then I got the email Sunday night, and I'm like doing my steps around my house, and I text Hallie, I was like, I can't go to sleep, I'm so excited, you're not going to believe it. I got picked. But yeah, so I have Iron and Embers, but I'm trying to finish up, like I say, my book club reads, so I can focus on Iron and Embers and love my life. I'm so excited for that. But after that, like I'm saying, like, I mean, we have other ones planned out for the book podcast here of what we're reading.
Do we?
Oh my gosh, guys, we have something super cool to talk to you guys about, too.
We have 6 more after.
Are you ready for, like, the ADHD today? I haven't even got that far in my coffee yet. Our other really cool thing that we're doing coming up soon is we're going to be doing, like, a content filming day, because in case you guys are lucky enough to have it come to your city, an ACOTAR ball is coming.
No, you're overhyping it.
We
are not. No. Buffalo is not having one of the big ones.
No.
This is not that. This is a private promoter who I don't even know if they have the licensing to do this. Because we are not one of the official ones. Those are like
the ones that are actually
$300 tickets.
The ones that are like by Bloomsbury or whatever.
Yeah, those are like $300 tickets and like paid actors and everything. We are having an ACOTAR ball. I have a feeling it is completely unlicensed. They got no permissions. And they're just hoping we don't overhype ourselves. So, like,
hey,
manage expectations here.
I am hyping it up because I'm excited for it.
We can be excited for it, but it's still Buffalo. Just keep in mind.
Maybe there'll be a table there that someone will jump through. Tell me I'm wrong. But yeah, so we're gonna do that next month. That's like something kind of cool.
I mean, it's exciting. We're gonna have a good time because we just always have a good time and we get to look pretty and
cute and get all dolled up.
Yeah.
Hallie's gonna do my hair. And I have to wear contacts. Ew.
I will just be blind.
You have contacts?
No, I hate them. It's a sensory issue. I can feel them when I blink and it makes me want to tear my eyeballs out.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, we have not much more planned out. So if you guys have some book recommendations, let us know. Let us know what you want to
literally
read.
forgot we had like 6 books planned out beyond this.
Yeah, girl, come on.
You know how my brain is.
I know how your brain is. I don't know. I think the next one I want to read is that one like Elsie Silver book that I bought. I think it's like Off to the Races.
Yeah.
Because I physically bought that, so I kind of want to get that read too.
So I'm still reading the Sophie Lark series on my Amazon right now.
Is that the same for like that series?
No, those are done. That's just a duology.
Okay.
These are like, you'll know the covers. Like
Yeah.
those ones. So I'm on the 4th one right now. But then after I'm done with this Sophie Lark series, I really want to read A Touch of Golden Madness.
Ooh, I've heard good things about that too.
No, it's not. So, because I also want to read Guild.
Guild's supposed to be good too.
I want to read Guild really bad. I want to read this really bad. Obviously, Iron and Embers. There are things I want to read.
My promotion too for Iron and Ember, so that comes out January 28th. Add it to your TBR, guys. It's on Kindle Unlimited.
It is.
Just like this book is on Kindle Unlimited.
Honestly, I feel like that's going to be like a really good like reading hangover cure for a lot of people off Onyx Storm.
It actually will be, because like
Just like because we know her writing style.
and she has a very engaging like type of writing style. It doesn't take too long to get into her books.
Yeah.
And it's got very similar tropes to what Iron Flame I think has. Like I think Iron Flame still will tell you like enemies to lovers. You have like a war aspect of some point into that book as well. Same with Iron and Embers. There's some type of war alchemy kind of going on for the tropes and things like that.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I haven't touched a single page. All I know is I opened the download and I squealed, and then that's all I did because I need full attention for it.
That's fine.
Full attention's for it.
But yeah, no, I feel like that will be a very good
Book here.
Yeah. I love that we're saying this now after these books are already going to have like been out for a while because these are not getting posted before they come out, are they?
This one is getting posted next week.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's why I said they're getting a double episode. So they're getting this Vows and Ruins, and then they're also going to get Fate and Fury. But it's okay. Sometimes it's nice to have those ebbs and flows because I feel like I'm behind on my reading right now. But it's okay. We're getting there. We like chunky books. That book didn't help my reading pace.
I didn't realize how big that book was.
Look at us, both subscribing like big chunky books. Last time Hallie was like, I don't realize how big that book was. It was When the Moon Hatched.
That was my book club pick. Also, this is not that episode, so I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, come back in like 3 months.
It'll be 3 minutes for us.
Yeah, 3 minutes. So, let's get into today's episode.
Today's episode, after that long,
Very intro.
We have so much ADHD today.
It's okay. It's okay. Fee. So we are going to be covering Vows and Ruins. So this is the second book in the Legends of Thezmarr series. So again, this is coming right after Blood and Steel.
Literally picks up right away.
Right away. This is on Kindle Unlimited. Again, there's this beautiful, beautiful box set that is going to be coming out of this book.
There's 2 like versions of it too that are just gorgeous.
So if anyone wants to know what we like,
I'm assigns that box set.
same. That box set specifically.
It's the same as Bean. Bean actually probably is the same size as the
Yeah,
box set.
we could use an extra box for her to sit in.
Bean would love a box.
The couch would like a box set to like chill on it too. So like again, just know, box sets fit this household, this
Bean
podcast.
would love a decorated box to sit in. Do you see how perfectly she can loaf herself up?
Cute. So our tropes in this book are enemies to lovers.
Yep.
Because that's kind of a prominent theme throughout this whole series. You go from like
This
hot and
entire
cold.
series is people talk about like the W of like how things end versus like in a series. These all end with them not talking.
Every book.
Except for the last.
Except for the last book, yes. It's almost like when we say like we're back in the spring court, it's like you're always there. It's like there's always a problem with the two of them at the end of the book.
Yeah.
Again, besides the follow-up. But so then next we do again major apprentice or mentor apprentice, because she's become his apprentice into this book. Touch Her and Die, because he's still very protective of his girl. Found Family.
Yep.
Team Kip and Cal, we love them.
Love them.
And
Torch.
And Torch.
Torch is the fun uncle.
Torch starts to come a little bit more into this book.
Torch is the fun uncle.
He is the fun uncle. I can't wait to read Funkel's story.
I do too.
Dual point of view, that's something different because the first book was only a single point of view, if I'm not mistaken. So this was dual point of view. I really like that. And then there's magic. So we love magic.
Yes.
Did you audiobook this a little bit, right?
I audiobooked it both times. I have not read a page of... I feel like that's going to be what throws me off about Iron and Embers, is I am going to sit and try to read it, and I'm not going to know what Torch's name is, because I have never looked at his name. I have literally only heard it.
Oh, what's weird? It's on Audible, technically, so I don't know if you... It says you can pre-order it, and it says it's getting released January 28th.
I'm sure you can, but I'm not spending money.
I technically have my one Audible credit, but I haven't...
I used it for Onyx Storm because I am not reading that. I have not read a single page of Rebecca Yarros myself either. I have audiobooked her as well. And actually, I got lucky. Every time I've read her, it has been free on Libby.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to her on there or Hoopla. I just don't know if I want to sacrifice my Audible credit to that. That's the only reason why I haven't ordered it.
That's the only reason I did it, was because, like, by the time I, like, realized it, there was already a really long wait list on Libby for it, and I wouldn't have been able to get it before book club. And I literally only bought it because we needed, at, like, a time frame for book club.
So, this book I did listen to the audiobook. I think the first book I read a little bit of it. Physically, not too much. I've listened to most of that audiobook. I think I've done this whole series audiobook. I like the audio readers and the narrators.
I love them. She has great audio readers.
She picks good choices. Like,
I don't know if she picks them or if it's just like the
PR
company. I don't know who does it. They did a great job.
Team Helen, whoever's behind. Helen. We love Helen and all the team. Love you all. You guys are amazing at your jobs.
Yes.
So yes, I did love the narrators. I loved Wilder's chapters and kind of getting to like see him a little bit more in this book. Our ratings for this book. What was your rating?
I gave it 4 stars.
4 stars? I gave it 3.5. I'd say like 3.5, 3.75 stars. Out of the series, I would say this is my least favorite of the four. Just because I do feel like a little bit of the smut outweighed the plot more than it needed to in this book. I think it worked with it, but I also kind of think that took away from like more of how much I wanted like more of a connection with the characters in this book for some of it versus just like spice. But I did enjoy it. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it because I really enjoyed this book.
Having read the rest of the series and then re-listened to this, I needed the fluff. Like, I could not imagine if this series was just like all the heavy moments without like at least one book of just like, oh, this was easier to read.
Yeah.
This didn't emotionally devastate me every other chapter.
Crush me like a bug.
Yeah.
I love to be crushed. So, spice for me, it was definitely a more spicy book. For sure.
I didn't think it took away, though. I thought it was, like, actually done the right way, where they need it, because, like, they are in such that weird predicament where, like, they already have, like, a dynamic of their own, plus now they're, like, trying to deny it, which always makes you want the other person more. Yeah. And, like, I feel like that's the only reason she did add more spice into this one, because, like, it's very true. I feel like if that was the situation, yeah, you'd probably be jumping on each other every time somebody turned their fucking back.
Or, like, yeah, like, you go in a battle, and then, like, you guys hate each other right before the battle, but you're so happy that you make it through that...
Like, the emotional catharsis of it.
I think for me, the only thing, like, I wanted a little bit more of that, like, emotional connection for it. Not, again, like, I definitely agree with what Hallie's saying, of, like, it was nice to have that fluff and filler for it, but I also, to me, like, that intimacy is more valuable when you have that, like, personal connection for it. So, other than that, again, like, I really, really enjoyed this book for it.
Alright, I guess I'm taking the lead on this one, guys.
Yeah, go Hallie, go.
There is a little bit of a difference. Wilder's gone. Wilder decides to fuck off into the woods for 3 weeks. Girl, I can relate with your man wanting to do that.
Oh yeah, like him not being around, and Torch has to help train her.
Torch starts training her because he's all, and like he has 3 apprentices at this point because his apprentice is Cal, and then
Kip is +1.
Kip's mentor is the like battle strategy like leader guy, and he's very busy doing things.
Because Cal, he takes Cal originally, and then he takes Kip as well for it. So they
no, because Kip's trainer is still the like leader guy, not Torch, but it's because he's so busy that like otherwise Kip would just be like hanging around. So like it's kind of like, all right, you should do something, so like I guess come here.
I feel like this review is going to be a little different from the rest of our reviews, again just because it's a re-recording. So I don't know if we're going to go into like the high level of evaluation and description that we normally go into, just because I think we both kind of remember it. I mean, I probably don't remember as well as Hallie does, but I also feel like that happens when you read a whole series. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
I don't always remember.
Honestly, I forget second books a lot.
I forget second books a lot too. Like, and I don't feel like this had like a second book syndrome for that.
The second book is how I know if I like a series, though.
Yeah.
Like, first book could be the best book ever. I could love it when I read it. Second book comes out, second book is trash. First book becomes trash.
That's not, I totally get that too. This didn't make me not want to read this series though. I think it's enjoyable enough that you still want to read the series of things that are going on. Like again, like how you say there's not as heavy of action, like there's a little bit more of a lull. I wouldn't say it's like fluff, but like it could be considered like a fluff of this series.
It starts off on a lot of strife. It starts off with Thea very upset at Wilder. She's also mad at Ren. She's taking it out on Kip and Cal, so like they're kind of strained too. Also keep in mind, they got kidnapped because of her not very long ago.
But they don't hold it against her, but she's...
Cal has some PTSD.
He does. I don't think he like fully blames her, but he associates it with her and like being around her.
He has a hard time with it, yeah.
And like Kip is the glue of the family.
Yeah, Kip just wants everyone to get along and have a nice family dinner. And go to the tavern, and somebody pay his tab.
Yeah, everyone pay his tab, never himself.
Yeah.
So like we started off on that note of like them like being frustrated, Thea being frustrated with Wilder because he's not there training her and like helping her become the warrior that she deserves to be, because he also is one of the strongest warriors around because of his mentor, and she kind of deserves that as well, being like the only female being selected by the prince. Just a lot of different kind of factors for that.
Yeah. And she like straight up tells him that within like the second chapter. He's like, oh, you're not where you should be, and she's just like, oh, I mean, I would be if you were here and didn't just fuck off into the woods for 3 weeks.
I think I love that the most, of like her like feistiness of this, of like her starting to like, not that she didn't stand up for herself in book 1, but she really was fighting for her equality, I think, in like training and things like that from Wilder, and like expecting him to like, don't treat me different just because we're having relations together outside of.
They kind of just tried to ban all that off, and that did not work.
Nope.
But like the other thing is like, I don't know if it's that she's standing up for herself or if she just hit that point of rage where she's just like fucking done with everybody, because it's not just Wilder getting, like, she has lots of rage towards Ren, and she is not treating Ren the nicest, which understandably Ren hid this huge secret about her from her
for years.
Yeah,
it wasn't for like a little bit, it was for a long time. So like I totally get Thea being mad.
Yeah, and like again, it's very understandable, but she does definitely take it out on Ren and Audra, which like
I don't like Audra either.
Again, Audra's one of those characters I want to know more of her motivations for things. Because, like, from what we've read, which is just Wilder and Thea's point of view, it makes her seem very, like, selfish.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like, once we get her point of view,
we'd actually, like, see it from...
And, like, I feel like a lot of it truly is trying to make sure she's not gonna put anybody else into a situation that they've already been through with, like, having basically their rights, their power, like, the ability to be warriors as women, and, like, not to show up for one battle, save the day, and then be told, yeah, no, fuck you, we're stripping all your shit away again.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's really testing to see, like, not only how Thea will be, but how Wilder and how the men respond to a female warrior.
Yeah, I can see it. I feel like, to Cal, she feels bad for what happens to Kip and Cal, so she's not necessarily, like, taking out any anger on them, but she's trying to distance herself from them to protect them. But then it's also backfiring because then she has no one, and she just, like, keeps alienating herself because she doesn't have, like, anyone to kind of talk to about stuff and, like, have friends.
I didn't mean emotionally taking it. I mean, she's literally just pissed and fighting and training constantly and can barely control her power because, like, the first fight scene, she almost, like, she's bringing in storm clouds as they're fighting, and obviously it's because she has no control over it, but, like, her emotions are also so heightened, and she has so many of the emotions that, like, she is inadvertently putting her friends in a riskier situation by sparring with them.
And I feel like she knows that she's putting them at risk, and she's trying not to, but she doesn't know what to do, and she's such in, like, a limbo of it.
No, she was just pissed in that first fight. She's like, fucking kill everybody. There was, like, no moment of, like, oh, these are my friends, maybe I should hold back. She, like, lost
like, when
herself
she's
to the
attacking
blood
them.
loss.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, even, like, when she's training with Ren and all of that, like, I think it consumes her so much, but she also doesn't know how to control it.
With Ren, she tries to act like she, like, literally can't call it power. Like, that she does, like, has literally no control. Like, she cannot bring it forth either. And, like, she's kind of playing both sides on that, because, like, obviously we see she has some grasp of power. She can grab it somewhere because it's coming when she's fighting.
I don't think she really knows what she's doing.
No, obviously.
Like, I think she's still kind of grasping at straws for that,
to
too.
me,
of just, like,
she's the biggest, like, the most flawed character right now in this book. Like, we don't have reason to really not like Audrey yet.
I don't trust her. I think she's too fake in the way that she's pushed her versus how she's pushed Ren in this book, and saying how she can't do a lot of things and, like, she's not good enough. Like, she literally degrades her so bad to the point that the training session that Wilder comes to, he almost steps in because of how bad Audra is treating her.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like Audra, is because of that. Like, how are you going to be that malicious and act towards her that way, but then pedestal Ren so much and act like Ren's not doing anything wrong? Like, I'm not saying Ren was perfect, but Ren also hid a lot and kind of contributed to the way that Thea acted about it.
But is it her way of doing tough love, where she doesn't understand what tough love is, so she just is coming across
Hides a
as
secret
shitty?
For years?
Not Ren, Audra.
Well, I think Audra is shitty. That's why I don't like her right now.
I don't think Audra's shitty.
I think she's shitty. But
I
that's
want more information before I make that determination.
After that, like, battle that Wilder almost stepped in, that's when I didn't like Audra anymore. I already was kind of on the fence with her beforehand. Like, I didn't really, like, love her or, like, hate her. But after that and, like, how she treated her, I don't like her. I don't like her right now. Hopefully it will turn around for me in the series. But as of this time, no.
Fair. I can respect it.
Like,
again, I just feel like I don't have enough information to, like, really have an opinion.
Remember, I'm petty. I will hold everyone's grudge.
That's fine, but, like...
You literally were so mean to my girl. My girl Thea.
I don't know. I grew up in one of the tough love households where, like, yeah, things were said and I probably cried over them, but, like, in the long run, at least I can read now.
I mean, I definitely grew up in a tough love household, and it didn't always make me a better person, honestly. If anything, it, like, emotionally hurt me more sometimes. Sometimes it does, I think, make you a stronger person, but I don't think always tough love is, like, the best scenario.
No,
just
I
because
do
you're
agree with
rude.
that.
Or, like, my family will tell you, like, they're very blunt, but, like, being blunt always isn't nice. Like, just because you feel that way doesn't mean everyone needs to feel what's on your mind, because that's how you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
It's like my issues with certain characters in books of, like, that's just not, like, I don't know, like, I can see it, but again, I didn't hate this book. I don't want anyone to think I hated this book, because I really did enjoy this book. But I wanted a little bit more out of Kip and Cal and, like, their friendship in this book.
Right, so after our debacle about Audra,
On Audra, what else are your like big key points that really like stick out to you from this book?
they go back to the main kingdom and they see the king and his daughter again. And she makes some comment, like, wanting to know how the alchemy training specifically goes, because she's very into alchemy.
Yeah.
That was just a comment made.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a piquing interest of like, she's interested in what Thea was doing, and Thea was interested in what she was supposed to. Because, like, wasn't she, like, getting more, like, sword training or something like that? That, like, Thea was like, oh, I wish I had that training more than, like, what I got of, like, my alchemy training growing up or something like that. I could be wrong, but I forget what it was specifically,
Thea was
but...
not into alchemy at all.
No. Until she figured out... I think this book she figures out a little bit more about, like, the potions about killing people and starting to ask questions, or is it in book 3?
I think it's, like, halfway through this book.
I think it's in this book. That she starts to at least, like, not get interested in alchemy, but, like...
I'm also pretty sure it's this book that, like, we have another Laughing Fox moment with Kip.
Yeah.
I think it's on the way home from this trip. I don't know if this is where we figured out Kip is the son of the Laughing Fox. I don't know.
I think this might... Again, like, they just
the first
blurred.
book he just, like, bragged about it a bunch and everybody's like, yeah, you're full of shit.
And then the tavern owner sees him.
And I think it's in this book that happens.
Yeah,
and
because
like,
she gets the coin.
Yeah, at the
kingdom, because that's how she can, like, pay with this, like, which, give me your coin, I need to buy a house.
Everything. Pays any tab.
Anything, unlimited amount, and you never, like, you don't actually give the coin to the person. It's pretty much just like...
It just goes on the king's tab.
It's just, like, literally this, like, ID that's just like, yeah, the king's paying for me for the rest of my life.
It's a company card.
Bill him. And I get to keep it and use it again and again.
Company card.
It is. It's company coin. Company coin there.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, we get the Laughing Fox moment, which, like, I don't know. We love Kip.
I love Kip. We got a little... This is too, like, I think this is when, like, Torge and Ren come, because Ren gets forced and dragged along with them, even though she's, like, pissed. Because I remember there's a bar scene where, like, Torge and her go missing.
I don't remember if that's this book or the next book.
Okay,
or later in this book.
I know this book we're definitely...
I feel bad doing this. We don't remember though. Oh my god.
We don't... Again,
I mean, I feel like the only next thing I really, like, big remember that, like, we have to talk about is the ending.
The only other in between is, like, you at least get to see more side characters. Like, book 1, you got to see Wilder, Kip, and Cal. Those were, like, your 3 side characters you got heavily introduced. You've seen Ren, and you've seen a little bit of the Dancing Alchemist girls and Torge and Sebastus, but, like, you don't get, like...
Sebastus.
You don't get...
Fuck Barlow.
A lot on it. This book, you get Torge, you get Ren, you're starting to get more backstory on Wilder and, like, who Talamir was. Not much. You're getting snippets about Wilder, but you're, like...
A little bit Malik, too.
Yep, Malik you're kind of getting in this book. You're getting more of Sebastus in this book.
I just remembered the other big thing before the ending.
Yeah?
Wilder does tell Thea about his, ordeal.
What ordeal?
His test thing. The thing that she has to do to become a war sword. What's that called?
The challenge? The Warsaw challenge?
Is it a challenge? Is it an ordeal? I don't know.
Right? I don't know.
Something. He tells her about his.
Does he?
He does. It is in this book, because I remember that was the last part I was listening to. I remember.
That's good. You remember, because I don't.
And, like, yeah, so he does end up telling her about his, because she's asking, and, like, that's all she's asking about. This book is very much a, there is spice. Half of it is, like, mad at you, Spikes. The other is, like, okay, I'm finally accepting this emotional connection, and I do love you, and I was just being a brat. And then, like, a giant training montage.
Yep.
That leads to a battle. Battle happens. Everybody's at their tents, talking, doing things. There's a prisoner. There's a few prisoners of half-wraiths.
I almost thought you said a different word there.
No, half-wraiths.
I know.
And then, who do we magically notice is not at these battle planning sessions about what to do with the half-wraiths?
The dude who's named after a lobster on Ariel. Sebastus.
No.
No.
Wilder.
Oh, Wilder, yeah. Because isn't Sebastus killed in this book?
No. He doesn't die until the last book.
Oh, it is the last book? Ugh.
Yes, we just covered it last
I know,
week.
that's why that was the lure in there for it.
Yeah, no, he's a creep in this book too.
Mm-hmm. He is a creep in this book.
You can't trust none of these Barlows.
Mm-mm.
Fuck them all.
Yeah, but Wilder does go a little dark and twisty on us.
Wilder may be evil at the end of this book. He essentially just escapes with the half-race, lets them go, goes with them. And that is how it ends. We know nothing more.
Very cliffhangery. So, like, this is, like, add Fate and Furies right after it.
Yeah.
Right after. There's no in between.
You're gonna have to. Or
Don't
else
even
you're just
bother
gonna,
writing
like,
your
hate
review
life.
until you get a couple chapters into Fate and Furies, because I think that's what I did, is I didn't even, like, start writing a review on this because I was too hyped to, like...
I made an actual journey entry. The only thing written here is, I'm so annoyed they made Wilder evil. Spoiler. Overall, really liked the strain everyone has. The strain everyone has is perfect. Barlow deserves to die still, and Malik is still the best. That was my impressions of this book.
This book, like, I read my review before we started recording on Goodreads, and it was just pretty much just, like, feel like some of it was taken over of the plot, but, like, other than that, it's good. You see more development from her.
But
that's kind of, like, my overview.
Aren't 5-star books ones that, like, you cannot tell me a single plot point, but that book was 5 stars?
Yes and no.
Yes.
Yes and no. Because I've seen something recently of, like, let's normalize having, like, 5-star reviews and not remembering a single thing.
That is
I totally get that. But I also feel like, too, like, for you, though, it's the magnitude of how much you read.
I also have the
You've
brain
read
of
10
a goldfish.
books.
You watched me, like, lose my keys while standing at my door.
Like, yeah. Like, you've read 10 books in 8 days.
I've read 5 books in 8 days. I put $10 in my jar.
Oh, $10 in your jar. 5 bucks. Well, but still, like, just think of that. So, like, how are you going to remember every single plot point that happens in a book that big? You're not
I can't tell you. Honestly, because most of that book was filler to me.
I can tell you so much about that book.
That book is very good. I remember the big
lives rent free, but, like,
it
but
was
then there's
filler.
some, like, there's some, like, even on this shelf, like, okay, Hooked. I read it. I can tell you, like, 3 plot points, but I liked it.
That book only had 3 plot points.
If that, but, like, I could tell you, like, 3 things that happen, and, like, the book club book that we read that's on your bottom shelf, I can tell you their names.
Which one did you read on my bottom shelf?
Twisted Love. I can tell you their names. And, that was her brother's best friend.
There for color.
But again, so it's like, you can still have amazing reads and not be able to, like, remember a lot of the book. Also, if you guys don't take notes, this is your sign to take notes on books that you read.
Or don't, and just live in the moment, and then, like, if you
color.
decide to reread it, then you, like, get halfway through and you're like, oh shit, I know everything. I do that a lot.
I'm waiting for my epiphany right now for Iron Flame, because I need that I remember everything moment, because I'm not remembering everything.
I get that moment a lot. Because I'll, like, legitimately forget, like, if I didn't have Goodreads, I would forget I read something.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh shit, oh yeah,
I read that.
I love this.
Yes. So, again, you guys are fortunate enough that hopefully you're listening to this episode. Then right after you're done listening to this, you're going to go listen to Fate and Furies. They should be posted on the same day. We will link our podcast Instagram information on there. If you guys would be so kind as to give us a follow, we would love and appreciate that so much. Our goal this year for 2025 is to get to 100 followers on both here on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts. Who knows? We're just going to take whatever we get from them. And then hopefully we'll get 100 followers on Instagram as well. And don't forget, if you really want to see more about our chaoticness and our reads and what we're personally reading, not only for this podcast, but for our own desires and hopes, follow our personal Instagrams as well. I'll link those in there as well.
Somewhere, please.
Helen, will link her information, of course. Please follow her on Goodreads. Check her out on Kindle Unlimited on
Only
January
good
28th.
things.
Yes,
if
only
we
good
send
things.
you to her and you write something nasty, I will be very upset at you.
Boo.
You get thumbs down.
We will Barlow boo you. Boo.
Bean will not be your friend.
No colorful boxes for you to sit in.
Bean will not be your friend. You'll get airplane ears.
That kind of shit we got right there, though.
That's why I said it. She's doing airplane ears because she thinks somebody's being mean to Helen.
Yeah, don't be mean to Helen. We love her.
Being a
We
lieutenant.
love her books. So excited for Ren and Torture series. but also very excited for Thea and Wilder's story as well. So make sure you keep following along, listen to us rant and rave, and just like yap along, because what else do we do here on this couch?
I'm sorry, this episode was less
It's not
than
the
you
greatest,
wanted.
but that's okay. You gotta have some bad episodes to have some good episodes, right?